Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about this thing called picking pressure or strumming pressure. And what this entails is giving yourself a finite amount of time to get to the next thing. This is probably the most important concept to get you to the next level of your playing. If you're marching to the beat of your own drum, so to speak, you're never really going to have the pressure to play any faster, or at least it's not going to be as effective as if you had something actually keeping time. So for example, if you had you can do this either with something with picking, scales, or with chords. The principle's the same. So I'm going to do two examples. One where I have a chord pressure, I'm doing pressure with chords, and then one with scales. So I'll start with scales. Now I have some sort of timekeeping device. It could be a metronome. It could also be a drum beat. It doesn't matter as long as you have something keeping time. But for simplicity's sake, I'll just put a metronome on because you have that signature bing, and that's kind of like your, checkpoint. So at the very simplest level, if you can play whatever you're supposed to be playing on that high chime, so whatever you're supposed to play now, and then whatever your next transition, bam. So if I was doing a scale, let's say we know a G major scale. Oh, whoops. This is actually a lot of time to get to the next note. So I'm making sure that I'm playing by then. Now this is awfully slow. I think a lot of people can handle that. So there's two options. You can either speed up the metronome, but I would actually suggest just giving yourself a smaller window. So maybe 2 clicks. So 1, 2, and then you gotta get to the next note. So I'm trying to push myself to play the next note by that every other click. And you don't need to hold the note forever. You can just play it and then get to the next one. And so that's giving yourself picking pressure. Now you can speed it up a little bit and do the same thing, or you could give yourself only 1 click to play the next note. So whatever it is. And that'll kind of force you to get faster. And then again, from here you can either speed up the tempo and do the same thing, but you could also just continue to subdivide as well. So you can do the same thing, but you give yourself half of a click to play the next note, so an 8th note. And that's and I haven't changed the tempo. It feels way more frantic. A far cry from where we started. But if you're a beginner, that's okay to start here. But very quickly you want to give yourself a little bit more picking pressure. And that pressure is offered by whatever parameter you set for your boundary. On the opposite side, we ended up with 8th notes. We can do 16th notes. So that would sound like this. You can even do triplets. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. But let's say you want to get to the next level. Like, let's say you're doing quarters and you can't quite get to 8s. Well, that's when you want to speed up the tempo a little bit. Right now it's at 80 BPM, maybe bring it up to like 82 beats per minute or 84 beats per minute, or just creep it up a little bit. And that'll it's almost like adding a little bit of weight to your exercise. So metronome's a lot like weight. So that was with picking. Now you can do the same thing, but with chords. So let's say you're trying to learn a song like Horse with No Name's a real easy one. So that song goes E minor to D, and there's different ways of playing this, but let's just talk about the concept of switching between E minor and D. So same thing, you can set the metronome to whatever speed. I just have it arbitrarily at 80. And I'm going to see if I can get to the next chord by the click. So we got E minor, and then I'm trying to get to D. And you can do that, and you got to kind of listen to the response of your body. If this is hard, then you're at a great spot. So you want to try to make sure you get to that chord just in time for that click. If you get there early, that's fine, just wait there. And if you do get there early consistently, that usually means you're ready for a smaller window. So those are 4 beats to switch through. Just like what I was talking about with picking, you can then do half the amount, so 2 clicks, and I want to switch the chord. So you notice I'm kind of sillily moving my fingers to show you that that's the time you have to build the chord. So in that window, you want to get to that chord. And then let's say these are called half notes. Let's say those are feeling comfortable. Then give yourself 1 click to switch the chord. I'm sorry, it would sound like this. And this is pretty extreme. You're almost never going to be changing chords this quickly, but give yourself headroom, I guess. So then you can take it further with the 8th note. So every click and every space in between the click. You can even do 16ths, but at that point it starts getting ridiculous. So that's just with chord changes. You can do the same thing with strumming pressure. So let's say the end goal is to go like, so an 8th note strum, just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, switch. If that's the goal, you can apply the same philosophy. So let's say the chord change is slow, right? Let's say you can only handle once, so like, right? So that's where we're gonna start. So until you can get there with some time, then that's where we're hanging. Now if this starts to become easy, you're gonna do 2 strums, you're gonna do 2 8th notes, so like that. So now you essentially have 3 beats, 2, 3, 4 to switch the chord. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So you have 3 beats to switch the chord. And then once that becomes easy, see if you can do 3 8th notes. So that's 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 3 notes. Throw 3 strums. 1, 2, 3. However you like to count. But do you see the concept here? I'm slowly inching forward with how many strums I'm doing, which then in turn makes the time to switch the chords smaller. So now let's say this gets easy. You're going to do 4 8th notes, 4 strums. So now you only have 2 beats to switch the chord. 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. You get the idea, right? So now we're going to do 5 8th notes, 5 strums. Yeah, it's like hard for me to concentrate on this. But at this point, you should start feeling, oh boy, it's really hard to get back to that chord. But you're getting closer to the strumming pattern we set out to learn. Okay, now you're gonna do 6 strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you only have 1 beat to switch the chord. Okay, let's try 7 rhythms. There it is. 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. So you're almost there. Are you able to switch the chord? And then this is the final, this is the keystone moment. If you can hit all strums and flip those fingers into the next chord and try to make it all seamless. So you're just gradually encroaching on that chord change with other rhythm, with whatever rhythm pattern you're trying to play. So I hope that makes sense. It's more of a philosophical approach. It's not necessarily something that you have to do, but giving yourself pressure to change into the next thing. And if that becomes easy, then speed it up or subdivide it further. So yeah, there you have it. That's called strumming or picking pressure with the metronome or with the drum beat. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked that video, leave a comment, subscribe, like it. If you'd like me to do more videos like this, if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed.